In the history of televised baseball, why do fans boo? Well, they boo Reggie Jackson, they booed Alex Rodriguez, they booed Jose Bautista, they were so good. They'll boo a bad pitcher. But where the majority of boos occur, I've seen this throughout the years, when the pitcher tries to throw to first base to throw out the home player. Like we look at, Ricky Henderson, Bert Campaneris with the A's, Lou Brock. People boo when the pitcher of the opposing team throws to first to try to get the home player out. So I guess this is not something that a certain no-name American broadcaster, he said he played over a decade with the Orioles. I don't remember him at all. Brian Roberts. According to the National Post, American broadcaster apologized for insulting baseball IQ of some Canadians on air. In an apology hours afterwards, I definitely never ever meant to cause anyone to feel like I was disrespecting them at all, Brian Roberts said Sunday. Thank you, Harold Reynolds, your white version. A Baltimore Orioles broadcast personality, according to the National Post, was in contrition mode Sunday after casting doubt on some Canadian fans' baseball IQ during a game against the Blue Jays 2 days earlier. I hope that you will accept my sincere apology for what I said in the air the other day. Orioles color commentator Brian Roberts said during a Mid-Atlantic Sports Network afternoon broadcast and shared to X. Now, I definitely never ever meant to cause anyone to feel like I was disrespecting them at all. The former 14-year-old pro second baseman, mea culpa, again, I don't remember him at all, besides him allegedly on steroids, follows comments he made in a series opener at Rogers Center Friday night. After a healthy cohort of the 33,367 fans there booed a failed 8th-inning first base pickup attempt by Orioles reliever Sean Dubin on the Jays' Miles Straw, Robert and his play-by-play colleague Kevin Brown opined in a fan reaction. Brown said it's silly that the move would draw a negative reaction and highlighted that a pickoff is now part of baseball disengagement rules meant to speed up the game, which only allow pitchers to step off the rubber twice per plate appearance. It's like booing when a pitcher throws a ball, Brown remarked to his colleague, in a clip shared by former Sportsnet host Sid Seixeiro. I got to be real careful what I say, Roberts replied. But sometimes we had some major questions about the baseball IQ of some Canadians here and there. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Go suck Trump's cock. At times it felt like maybe he knew a little bit more about hockey than baseball. Of course, there's been various stories last few days talking to Blue Jay fans. Canadians know more about baseball than Americans because most Canadian teams have American players that either played in the States for many years at a high level. We followed them. They're almost like when the Philadelphia Phillies were taking in the old Reds players. A lot of the Blue Jays that came in the 1990s and 2000s were from major squads. And, of course, the 2010s with Tulowitzki and Donaldson and all that. Now, as it goes on, after Brown advised him to shut that down now, and he both shared a collegial laugh, Roberts asked, "We're not in the air in Canada, are we?" There's a thing called the internet, Brown reminded him. Oh, that's right, Roberts said as he returned to the game at hand, which ended a 6-1 Jays win over the American League East basement-dwelling Baltimore. See, Baltimore fans have never liked Toronto ever since Earl Weaver said publicly he didn't want the Blue Jays in the American League or even in baseball. Asked about his remarks about a Toronto Star ahead of Saturday's game, a dramatic 5-4 come from behind Jays' victory, the league leading 45th this season, Roberts said it wasn't meant to be an insult. Rather, he said he was trying to make a point about the nation's respective pastimes, hockey and baseball, and the comparative general levels of knowledge about both. The Florida resident, for instance, counts himself among Americans with low hockey IQ. I would say there's a decent amount of Canadians who would come to America that wouldn't know a lot about baseball compared to the general amount of Americans that play baseball, he said, admitting he wasn't sure such generalities are true. So why say it? Why say it? Keep your fucking mouth shut. Speaking of the Star, infielder Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, IKF, attested knowledge to fan base. As first baseman Vladimir Jr. recalled Jays fans the best in the world. Infielder Ernie Clement echoed his teammate's sentiment and said he was surprised Roberts, who plays his entire career in the AL East Division, would feel that way. We got 40,000 a night here. I mean, you probably get 5,000 a night in Baltimore, so it makes sense you'd be a little salty about that, he said, referring to the low attendance at Baltimore's Camden Yards. The Orioles' average attendance with only 2 weeks remaining is 22,357 per game, according to ESPN. The Jays are 12,000 more, but a lot of Baltimore's are no-shows. In his Sunday apology, which came during the 5th inning, would turn out to be a runaway 11-2 win for the Bluebirds, Robert said he always enjoyed the city during his playing career, and now as a broadcaster. Brown then quipped about Roberts using an apology to announce his candidacy for Prime Minister of Canada, which shows them how much he knows about Canada, before agreeing that he too always looks forward to accompanying the Orioles on road trips to home of Canada's only MLB team. After Sunday's win, the Jays took a flight south to Tampa Bay for 4 straight against the Rays and, of course, won another comeback victory last night. Now, here's the deal. The bat flip with Jose Bautista, he was criticizing not only Jose Bautista, but Canadians for encouraging it and celebrating. Harold Reynolds doesn't want anything to do with the Toronto Blue Jays. He's been an announcer for years. He said publicly, we lose ratings every time we put Toronto. Toronto games are not shown on the major networks in the States. But being Canada's team, they don't need the States because more people per capita in our nation watch the Jays than any American team per capita is watched in America. The Jays are everywhere. They're sponsored by Sobeys. They have promotion with various major food and drink companies across Canada. They have a perfect fan base. When we lose, we say, okay, good luck to the team that beats us, but when we win, we're happy. We see so many Blue Jay shirts, and now the 51st state bullshit that we went through in recent months, it's like this never happened. See, Canadian media is very, very picky right now in relation to the way Americans treat us. And if the Americans, like when Trump said, that border's an imaginary line. Yeah, there's an imaginary line. Keep on your fucking side of it. Like I said, living by the States right now is like living by a crack house, and that's not only me saying that. Yes, we like some Americans, and maybe 49% of them are right on, but the 51% in charge. Like, I give an example. Pierre Poilievre there, okay, putting down the Canadian government, putting down Trudeau. Did he get a bullet? No. What the Prime Minister did when he lost, he said, you can run again. Okay, going to bring you back. $3 million election. Okay? Look what happened with Junior Trump. He got not his brains blown out, but his neck blown out. Did he deserve to be killed? No. But he was a hate monger, and he hated Canada besides. And some of the media states were trying to say, probably the Canadians did it. We can't even cross the border right now. They were trying to put it on a 77-year-old Toronto banker, which is quite amazing. But like I said, Earl Weaver hated the Toronto Blue Jays, and most of the games against Baltimore, even the playoff game with Edwin Carcion, hit a home run that's still traveling. The Orioles have never liked... and you find that strange, a lot of former Orioles and don't end up with the Blue Jays. I wonder why, because that's our mortal enemy. That and the Rangers, because of what we did those in the 2 playoff series. So with this pseudo Major League Baseball, I like I said, I don't even remember. But I've been covering sports for 42 years. That's that's the lunch pail he is. It's just like Ernie Witt to the United States. You wouldn't know who that is. Look it up. So again, if you're going to comment about Toronto fans, Skydome Exhibition Stadium, we're the best fans in the world. Because we go for a good time, not a long time. You might as well have a good time. The sun don't shine every day. So this Baltimore announcer, stay the fuck home next time. Do us a favor. Send over Harold Reynolds and we'll taunt him a second time. But you don't make fun of Toronto fans. You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the Maple Leafs have not won anything in decades. The Blue Jays have won 2 World Series. Yes, they didn't make the playoffs for quite some time. But the mid-2010s, that was a marquee team. Drew a lot of excitement, the bat flip, and the Donaldson era, the Bautista era drew a lot of interest. Like I said, if you got to criticize anything about Toronto, criticize Schneider. Not the guys playing, but the manager. Why not make Don Mattingly the manager? Why don't you do a story on that? Why is one of the best baseball players of all time not the manager of the Blue Jays? He's an associate coach, but he should be manager. That's the story. So Earl Weaver, my dad always said, should never talk bad about the dead. Earl Weaver is dead. Good. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, we're a Sports File podcast. I wouldn't have done this on that, but Robert Redford dying and all the deceased people, I didn't have time. I do have time today. And this Roberts guy, don't come back open your mouth with that bullshit again, because when you go into TTC, we might throw old McDonald's fries at you. We won't shoot you. We'll throw junk food at you, because that's how we roll, man. We don't use a gun to put people down. We basically saying, your breath smells like shit, or something like that. So ladies and gentlemen, keep your stick in the ice. Bye.